Well, here we are, another milestone. I got the body back on the frame, got the Fat Man stub all welded on there. Everything lines up real good. I smoothed out the dash, still got to respray it with the epoxy to seal it up. Got the driver's door mounted on there and it lines up pretty good. Still got to do a little Bondo on that, but it's pretty straight. But it lines up pretty good. It's a little tight at the top and a little bit wide at the bottom. And what I may do is just go for a happy medium. But either that or I'm going to have to cut this edge and re-weld it and then work it. And I'm not real thrilled about doing that. So I'll probably just leave it the way it is because everything else lines up really good here. And I block sanded for what seemed like weeks. It was just about 2 weeks on this. It looks like a lot of Bondo, but it's paper thin. It just kind of smooths out the whole thing because I had to replace the lower quarters. And ouch. I got the tail lights pretty close to being done. There's probably a little fine tuning still needs to be done to those. And what I've been doing now is this passenger side door, which I would have liked to have found a good one, but boy, those things are hard to find. This one here is one that I did purchase, and somebody must have planned on chopping the top because I cut the top, the framework off. And it looked really good. I mean, it's straight and all. But then after I had the car blasted, I had the doors blasted, and the whole bottom of the dang inside of the door went away. The skin's still good, but this whole part here was just one big frickin' hole. So I ordered up the patch panel kit from EMS, which is kind of close. Still had to cut it and fit it, and I had to slice down here to bring this side in a little bit and to bring this down a little bit. The same thing on that end. I had to cut it along this edge to bring it down to match everything. But I got it all welded in there, ground down. Little mud there and here will clean it all up. I'm not worried about that because that's going to be covered up with a door panel. But the skin was good, so I didn't have to mess with the skin. I just opened it up, cut this to fit, slid it in there, lined everything up, got my holes all lined up for the hinges, and then tack welded everything in place. Then hammer and dollied the skin back over and tacked it back on. And then, well, as everybody knows, with old cars laying around the field, they're full of bullet holes. I got one there, I got one there, and I had one here. I don't know what they shot it with, but man, it put a hole through it. Luckily, it didn't go through the skin. So, but anyway, I have my old door. I was able to cut the top off, so I got that's all good and solid. And then I cut a patch out of the same spot, so all the factory holes are where they're supposed to be. And no more bullet hole. So I got this all lined up. It's all welded and ground in there. Just a little skim coat of mud over it, and you'll never know it was ever there. So now it's time to mount this thing on the car. And once I get this mounted on, then I think I'm going to stop on the body work a little bit. And I got to get the rear end tore apart, get it sent out to get narrowed, and then once I get that, while I'm waiting for that, I'll probably go ahead and reassemble the front suspension. And so when I get the axle back, I can get that put back underneath, and I can actually roll this thing around a little bit. So, because the fenders are straight, there's no rot. There's a couple little dings and dents. One of them is perfectly straight. It just is off a crest line, so it has a couple extra holes. I got to fill those. Anyway, yeah, it's coming together, and you can see my hood's all right there, and it's really straight. Got one little ding right there. Just got to hammer that back up, and other than that, it's good. So, I'm gonna start putting this thing together and hopefully get it to a body shop next winter, and after I have everything all assembled, then I get to take it all apart again and take it over to the body shop. So let a real body man do the fine tuning and paint it up and get it to going. But boy, this thing sure don't look like it did when I got it. Oh yeah, I still got to fill these 3 holes here where the trim was at, which is no big deal. And the same thing over on the other side. And I got my new fuel tank with I got to put an in-tank electric fuel pump in it because I'm going to run EFI. And buying a new tank is better than trying to fix the old one, because the old one was still good and solid, didn't leak. But by the time you get them cleaned out and ready to go, you could have just bought a brand new one with no problems. Anyway, so I'll just keep on going with the way I'm going and try to make this thing look like a car. And until next time.